Hello, pen friends. We're going to be talking today about another pen. Of course, a fountain pen, just because that's my thing. And today, this is a pen of a brand that many of you may not have seen yet. It is a Gravitas pen. Gravitas is a company out of Dublin, Ireland. As you can see, it says designed and assembled. I don't know what that means, where the pens are made or whatever, but who knows? And also, who knows what this is? I'm assuming it's some sort of a code. It's not one that I'm familiar with, and of course, it's got another bit of it there. I mean, is it this way? Is it this way? Is it this way? I don't know. And I don't know how to decipher it, so if anybody knows, please post a comment. Thank you for supporting my small business. And it is a kind of a small business, at least as far as I can tell, although they have a very nice website that shows a lot of really nice pens with some interesting finishes. And another thing that's unusual about this company and the pen is that not only that it comes in a tube, there are other companies that do that, of course, but it's the smell. And it's something you won't be able to tell, but it was something I noticed as soon as I opened the package that this came in. It has a beautiful cologne. It's been like soaked in it. I don't know. It's not like gonna give me a headache smelling it. It just smells really nice. In fact, my wife smelled it when I opened the package and she thought it was quite nice. But here's the pen. It resides in this hard foam part of the tube. Not much more to that. And then there's not much more to it except for this pen. This pen is made out of stainless steel, and it has been laser engraved. You can see the skulls running over it and this kind of a floral pattern up and down it that I thought was kind of cool. They come in a lot of other patterns and materials. This is the stainless steel, but there's also aluminum and bronze and I think titanium and others, and lots of different finishes. They have a PVD coated one, they have polished, they have different like patterns engraved in them and stuff too. You can go to their website. It's just gravitaspens.com, and you check out their shop, and there's some really cool things in there. I was intrigued by this stainless steel one because not just because of the material, but because of the engraving on it, of course. There was a bronze version of this that was available too, but I have another bronze pen and I have titanium pens, but I don't have a stainless pen that's machined out of heavy stainless steel like this one. This is 304 stainless steel, which is known for being quite stainless. It does not rust or tarnish. You may be thinking, well, all stainless steel doesn't rust or tarnish, and that's not true. There are points at which different stainless steels will actually oxidize, but 304 is one of those ones that doesn't very much. And for something that you're going to be holding in your hands a lot, you don't want it oxidizing, and that's great. Anyway, so this is the pen. It's kind of heavy. The website tells me that it weighs 89 grams total. When you remove the cap, this portion of the pen weighs 54 grams. The total length of the pen is about 148 millimeters. And uncapped, about 134. Of course, I'm going off their website, and it's an Irish website, so they don't have inches for us metrically challenged folks from the US of A. Let's see what it looks like on my... There we go. It's under 6 inches. Looks like 5 3/4, 5 7/8, something like that. So it's a good size pen. If you want to compare it to something that's a little more common, let's see, what do I have here? Well, I've got my TWSBI Draco, which it's, a little bit longer than that. Of course, it weighs a whole lot more. Do I have another pen here that's fairly common? Not really. I don't like to use common pens, so I don't have one that I can just show you. But anyway, it's a larger pen, though. It's got a good-sized and very long section, which I kind of appreciate because it can accommodate different people's preference for holding. I normally don't like slick feeds, polished feeds, but this one it's you can kind of see the brush texture there. It's enough that you can hold on to it without feeling like you have to hold it with a death grip or your hand's gonna it's gonna slide through your fingers. It does. I mean, I don't really feel like I have to hold it with a death grip. Its weight kind of helps with that too, because the weight just kind of settles the pen in your hand, and it's not going anywhere. And it doesn't feel uncomfortable. I like a nice, good sized section. I hate the skinny sections on kit pens and stuff like that. This is not that. This is quite nice. And like I said, it's kind of heavy. Thick wall stainless steel. And then it's got these, I don't know what those are. Ceramic? Zirconium? I don't know, but they're on each end. Ball bearings kind of jammed into it there. I have a feeling that it's kind of a ceramic or something, though, because it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have the metallic look of steel like the rest of the pen does. And you see here the threads. Look how finely cut those things are. I've never seen a pen with threads that finely cut. I mean, clearly steel can handle fine threads like that. In fact, the first time I uncapped this, it it galled a bit, and you could hear it like screeching past it, and you can hear it just a little bit. But it's getting smoother each time I do it, so no real issues there. I guess for those of us who like to know how many rotations the cap needs to open, let's go one and like maybe a quarter. So it's a quick opener, which is nice. I like that. Now, so there's the cap, and here, and you can't post the cap. You know, I mean, there's just not a chance. And I don't think you'd want to, because of the way it's so heavy, it would probably, it'd want to fall out of the back of your hand. Now, unscrewing the section, again, very fine threads, and a lot of them. But that's good, because it keeps everything secure inside of here. And the first thing I noticed when I opened this up, because all I've done is open this up, I haven't inked it or anything, is that there's some residue of blue ink in there, which tells me that they tested this nib before they sent it to me. And this is a Yovo nib, and you can see I got a broad, because I like broad nibs, because then I can play around with them and do weird things to them, like grind them into architects or italics or whatever. And sometimes I leave them alone, but broad is a good basis to start from for modifying nibs if I choose to. Anyway, comes with a nice converter. Let me see, is it a threaded one? It feels like it, but it's not. It's just very tight. And there's some moisture in there because of the testing that they did in the factory, because I haven't inked this thing up. The section you can see is also very quite thick stainless steel. It's got some heft to it as well. And it's just a very snug fit there, which is a good thing. The barrel itself, it, again, is solid stainless steel. And it looks like, to me, down inside there, that the ball bearing is actually exposed at the bottom there, which says to me that, I mean, you shouldn't eyedropper metal pens anyway, just because the inks are going to react with it. But shining a light down in there, I'm not sure what that is. If it's just the end of the machining process, or if that's actually the back of that ball bearing thing poking through. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to eyedropper this. Lots of threads to thread it up. And it's a nice heavy pen. It's a good size. I really like it. Let's show it in comparison to some metal pens. I don't have a whole lot of my metal pens available right now. I mean, I moved to a new location, and I don't have all of them open and available at the moment. But the few that I have, I will show. Let's see. Here's a Kara's Customs Fountain K. It's a big, girthy thing. It's a bit lighter because obviously it's smaller. I should say it's not girthy. It's just kind of a heavy brass and copper pen, and you can see that it's quite a bit smaller. For size comparison, here's a Lamy All-Star, which it's still a little bit short. Just kind of a rare pen. This is a Rotring 600, which it's almost the same length as that. And another pen that I may have included in my titanium pen review, maybe not, I don't know. But this is another metal pen. This is a solid titanium pen made by Enso. This is the Enso Italia. And I fire blued this section there to give me some difference in there. It does not weigh nearly as much as the Gravitas pen does. It's a world of difference. This titanium, even though it's very stout and sturdy, it weighs significantly less. I don't think the walls of the cap or the barrel are as thick, but also titanium itself is not nearly as heavy as stainless steel. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing my whole desk. Let me slow the camera down there. Okay, there we go. So those are some pens that are roughly the same size. I have a much larger pen, and this is another rare oddity. This is the the Schrade tactical pen, which is hilarious, but it's kind of it makes me think of it because of the ball bearings at the end, because of this pointed end here that I guess is tactical in some way or another. But as big as this Schrade is, it's almost the same size, considerably heavier. Anyway, so let's go ahead and ink this thing up and give it a trial run, because like I said, I haven't inked it up at all. And to ink it up, I think that it would be apropos to fill it with Diamine Skull and Roses, right? Ooh, it's tight. There we go. Alrighty, let's plunk her down in there. See how she fills. Not feels, fills. I guess I'll see how it feels. Uh-oh. Stupid ring. The ring on the converter started loosening instead of the piston. Come on. There. Uh-oh. There it goes. I don't know why that's stuck. Kind of stuck in the bottom. Let's run it down and up one more time. Down and up. Okay. Just a little bit of stiction, I guess. Got a nice complete fill with the old Skull and Roses there. Which is... I don't know what pen store it was created for, but I think it was a German one. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a sheening ink from Diamine. And let's give it a whirl. Oh, there we go. Lots of threads. Give it a whirl on the William Hanna notebook here. Again, my lovely leather notebook. Get past... Oh, okay. And some nice Clairefontaine paper. And let's adjust the camera a little bit so I'm sitting in a way that you can see what I'm doing. So this is the Gravitas. I don't print ever, so this is kind of odd for me, but I just so people can see it. I would normally write that like this. Gravitas. Anyway, I'm in an awkward position. My writing's usually not this bad. And this is the stainless skull pen. And let's see. There we go. This will be a little better for me. As you can see, it's writing right away. So let's do the old... It's quite smooth. I mean, it's not buttery smooth. There's a touch of feedback, and you can probably hear that a little bit. But it is smooth, nice and gushy wet, which I like. These sheening inks tend to not be as wet flowing as others. I haven't had a whole lot of issues with Skull and Roses though, but because of the heavy dye load in them, they tend to not flow quite as wetly as other inks, but this one's doing just fine. Like all Yovo nibs, this is not flexible at all. It's just a nice fat brod. If you push it, you can make it look like there's some line variation, but a lot of that's just the paper indenting. And this is a broad, as I mentioned before, and it's made by Yovo. It seems to do really, really well. I have, and I've never really ever had an issue with a Yovo branded nib. They just do a great job. And as you can see, this isn't marked with any brand name at all. It's just a blank Yovo nib, which is just fine. But this is a unique pen, and I'm really glad that I found it. It's one that I think I will use as kind of an EDC. It's something that I could carry around without worrying about it getting beat up at all. And I love the Memento Mori kind of aesthetic behind the skulls on it. I'm gonna have to figure out how to clock it so that skull lines up. That usually doesn't bother me all that much, but I think for purposes of displaying it to y'all, it helps to show that it does line up. Anyway, so this has been a review of the Gravitas Skull pen, and I hope that if you are considering getting one, that you go to their website. This particular pen is out of stock right now, which happened, a day or two after I purchased mine. So I consider myself lucky, but I'm assuming that they'll get their be restocked soon. So, I mean, it's a great pen. It's got great weight, great size. If you're in the market for a nice metal pen and you like the skull aesthetic, this is one way to go. But like I said, check out their website. There are lots of other finishes on these that may attract you if you're not into the skulls and stuff. So anyway, have a great time, and I'll talk to you later.